Have this feeling, haven't felt for so long. Took a hold on me.
As with any country, there are pros and cons to moving to Australia.
Firstly, we're going to get our positive pants on and go through all the positives, all the pros. There is heaps of space in Australia. There's actually over 7.5 million square kilometres of land and only 25 million people.
So yeah, we're never really crammed in. When you want to go outdoors, you've definitely got a lot of space to go walking and looking at scenery.
You don't need to necessarily see other people. If you wanted to go somewhere a little bit out of the way, you might not see anybody else.
With moving to a new country, you get tons of new experiences.
I even think that if you are from Australia, there are so many experiences to be had that it's always going to be thrilling. Whether you want to go whale watching or feeding wild dolphins or even jumping out of a plane, you can do it here. There's heaps to do.
And Santa does jump out of a plane at Christmas.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Australian values are really easy to adapt to. And in fact, probably most of you moving might already have a lot of these values anyway. The main things are that you're respectful and you do the right thing by other people. Everything else you can just learn along the way.
So the next one is their friendly culture. You can go to a shop and have a great chat. Australians are very welcoming. When we did our recce, we didn't know where we was going, so someone took us into a shop, printed us out a map and pretty much told us all the best places to go.
Australians actually are known worldwide for their friendliness, and it's not surprising. When we've known Australians in England, they're always the ones that are adventurous and go-getters, and they're willing to get involved with everything. It definitely is the case over here as well.
Yeah, you're just surrounded by more of them.
Yeah, you've just got a whole country of people like that.
So our next pro is the education system here.
From what we've seen, we've definitely not been able to fault it, and we think that this is a definite pro for moving to Australia. The education system is second to none, and there's a lot of innovation. From what I've gathered, the educators are of the same standard, obviously. They've got the same training as everybody else in the world, but I think they don't seem to be so downtrodden by the system. Along with that friendly nature that the Australians have, there's also an awful lot of passion, which makes teachers here quite remarkable, doesn't it? Friendliness mixed with passion.
Oh, we love a bit of friendliness and passion.
Okay, might not make the video. That sounded so wrong. You have an opportunity of a lifetime full of adventure, because that is what Australia is about. Australians live for fun. They live to live. They don't, it's not all about work. It's not all about, trying to just pay bills to get by. It's about living.
Yeah, they strive to get the right work-life balance here.
And before anyone jumps in, we know that there are problems within the world at the moment. This is an overall view of Australians. This isn't a COVID-related vlog or anything like that. It's something that we've noticed about Australians, the way they think and the way that they are, and the great things that Australians do. So it goes without saying that the climate in Australia is definitely a pro. Getting to see blue skies all the time, you really can't grumble. Or you can, but you shouldn't. Obviously the climate isn't the same in the whole of Australia. It does change throughout, because obviously Australia, as we've mentioned before, is flipping big. There's different climates, and you could find a climate to suit you in Australia. If you're someone who likes the cold, you can definitely find that here. If you're someone who loves the roasting hot, pretty much oven-like temperatures, then you can also find that.
The higher up you go, the hotter it gets.
When we visit the Northern Territory, it will be in the winter, because it will cook us in the summer. Yeah. Because Australians mostly live around the outside of the country, that means that mostly you're near to the beach. A beach lifestyle is the norm here.
Yeah, most of the time, the houses, you're probably about an hour and a half maximum away from the beach.
Probably not even that for most people.
Yeah, not even that.
And I would go as far to say, actually, as Australia would have some of the best beaches in the world, and there's an awful lot of them. And another pro, because there are a lot of pros, and there's more than we're actually even mentioning in this list, but another pro is just how beautiful Australia is. In every direction, your eyes are just filled with scenery and it's breathtaking. Sometimes I feel like the cameras can't even take it in. Yeah, do it justice. It's just how beautiful it is. There's so many places where there's lookout points where you're just looking over kilometres and kilometres of this beautiful space.
We are very, very lucky. It seems like you can imagine amazing places around the world, and it seems like we all have them here in Australia.
Yeah, no longer do Ben and I look at the grey skies, which are just directly above us because you can't see any other sky because the buildings are too high and the streets are too narrow. We now can just overlook all of this beautiful scenery, and that's been something that has really hit us in moving to Australia.
Yeah.
Do you know something I really love seeing actually?
No, Maz, tell me.
Is even just the red dirt roads when we drive a bit further north, and you feel like you're really in Australia. I loved that when I went to the outback, but just those red dirt roads is just an entirely different view, and I really find them quite striking.
Yeah, and I find when I'm on the way to work, we get the most beautiful sunrises here on the coast. Every day it's different and it's always so vibrant and beautiful. If you go to Perth, they get the most amazing sunsets.
I actually think we also get we do get amazing sunsets. I know we do. There was one I posted on Instagram a few days ago that I looked up and it was purple.
Yeah.
It was just incredible, really beautiful. Okay, not meaning to be negative Nancy's, but there's cons to everywhere.
I shall take off my positive pants now.
Not on camera, Ben.
No, that's on another channel.
Check out Ben's OnlyFans. Anywho, moving on quickly, very quickly. One of the cons to moving to this amazing country is that it is far away from everything else, and so it's likely that you'll be leaving friends and family behind, which is obviously a con, and it is a choice. We know it's a choice, but it is a con to moving so far away.
You are separate from most other land masses, so as soon as you're in Australia, you know you're going to have to get a flight to any other country. It's not like you can drive to the next one over.
It does make it that little bit harder seeing your rellos.
You're going to have to learn lots of new things, from the banking systems.
Check savings or credit. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's a confusing one. And also even silly little things like not driving a car, like hopefully
Some
you know
of us
how
worked
to do
that one out, really.
Yeah. Like buying a car, it's a completely different system to anywhere else, and I think it's actually different in every state in Australia as well.
I think that goes with buying a house. That's different in every state as well.
Yeah, it really is. So you're having to learn simple things that you've taken for granted that you just know them. You actually have to learn those processes. So you're pretty much learning a lot of things from scratch.
So the next one, if you're like us, it's starting over again. So when we moved, we left everything. We literally turned up with our suitcases.
A fridge,
and,
freezer.
Yeah, and then we've literally had to buy everything for our home again.
Often with work as well, you might have to go a bit lower down than the position you were in back in your own country. And, you know, people need to know you. People need to know what you're capable of. And so you do kind of start over again. It's lots of fun, but it's like going back to when you're 18 years old almost. So having to learn all these new things and having to start over again, it is like being young again.
Yeah, but I did really love the whole buying all the new house stuff again.
Ben loves purchasing things.
It's lovely to have a massive spend up.
Okay, we both have a bit of a shopping habit, but anyhow, moving on. One of the big cons of moving to Australia actually is the higher risk of skin cancer. It is a reality here. People are advised to get skin checks regularly. I think once a year, is it? And obviously if you notice anything unusual, you should definitely get it checked.
Yeah, definitely get new moles and freckles and stuff like that checked by your doctors.
It's funny because some of the people that we knew back in the UK, if the sun came out, it could be, you know, still 10 degrees, but if the sun came out, they might slather themselves in
Cocoa
oil.
butter and stuff like that.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, and then go and lay out in the sun and go red. It is extremely dangerous to do that in Australia. It's just, you just wouldn't do it. It's just not safe. But it's a re-education thing. You've got to make sure you're covered up. You've got to make sure you're in the shade. You've got to make sure that you put your sunscreen on. And, you know, rashies are excellent here, actually.
They are.
Our girls wear rashies a lot. There is a certain dangerous element to living in Australia. I think particularly...
Danger, danger.
Things can be a little bit extreme, and we've certainly felt that danger element a bit more than when we lived in the UK.
Yeah, when we first moved here, we just thought it was going to be every animal's trying to kill you. But it's not just that, it's every type of weather's going to try and kill you as well here.
Obviously there are the animals as well. There's measures you take to protect yourself, like not going and provoking an animal. You know, that obviously would be common sense.
Just take the pictures from a distance, not
Yeah.
up in their face.
But there are situations that we find ourselves in that are more dangerous than we've ever experienced. We have never experienced such extreme flooding, extreme bushfires. Well, never even experienced fires before.
It is very expensive here to travel. That is from flights to just if you want to go for car journeys, because yeah, the fuel prices are low, but everything is hundreds of Ks away from each other. So you are going to be filling your tank up a few times to get somewhere, unless you go EV.
EV?
Electric
vehicle, okay. We say the flights and stuff are expensive. However, we have been noticing that in Europe, they're also getting incredibly expensive now. So
Definitely with the fuel prices going up, I think the flights have had to go up as well.
yeah, I think gone are the days of cheap travel in the rest of the world. So now Australia's probably pretty standard. The Department of Home Affairs, they really make it hard to move to Australia. Visas are not easy to come by, and you really actually have to want to go, because not only is it hard work to get your visa, it's also flipping expensive. So to move to Australia, you really have to want to come. You really have to have a passion. And I think it actually sets those people further apart from most, because it's not made easy. So it's the people that get here, they're the people that really want to be here, the people with lots of passion and love for Australia. It definitely is a very stressful experience, and because there's a lot of not knowing, and you know, you don't know for sure if they're going to grant your visa, you don't know for sure how long it's going to take, and that does make for quite a stressful
Experience of it as well.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out this one, and we will see you next week.